Our second series of the day, our red Terran player on the bottom right-hand side is TaeJa. He is just in the first 15-20 seconds of this game sent a couple of SCVs across to start up some proxy barracks. So TaeJa going to go for a proxy racks opener here in game number 1 against our blue Zerg on the top left-hand side from TSG. This is Solar. How long has TaeJa been back? TaeJa came back like a year ago or so. But it's been because he was at Home Story Cup a year ago, right? Where he played that 6 series against Serral in that best of 5, right? So that was like a year ago. And I mean, that was a year ago, and yet I feel like he didn't play in much. Like, he played in GSL qualifiers, but he didn't really play in a lot of online tournaments or anything like that. I think he's just been like sat back practicing, and like obviously he'll play like the big events, but you know, he played like some bigger qualifiers as well, but he really did stay pretty quiet for being back. So it's been kind of an interesting return of TaeJa. And honestly, I was just talking to him yesterday as he was playing the team league, and I was like, are you interested in playing online events? And he was like, yes, I'm eagerly awaiting your invite. I was like, oh, well, if you're eagerly awaiting, I'm eager to get you playing tomorrow. And he was like, okay, let's do it. So, yeah, pretty cool to get him playing here today, and let's see what happens. If you see a couple SCVs. Just going to have the Marine going in for the Overlord there. Bunker will start up in this little corner. See, this is the beginning of this fight as you have Solar. He was able to spot the racks, so he had a little bit of an idea this was coming. We have a real duel over getting these bunkers up. First SCV goes down. Obviously, Lings are on the way now, and there's not going to be a bunker up. That's really the painful part of this, not having a bunker when the Lings are out. It is just 2 racks, so generally from this there is a transition. You already see the factory starting. So a lot of Lings, but the Marine step is good for the moment, and should get some of these Ling kills. Obviously, the further these Lings run, the more damage they're going to take. There's no SCVs left, so these bunkers will not come up. And that little duel from Solar was really well done to be able to stop this from happening. He should try and cancel these, and he will cancel both. So he's just going to keep building Marines as the factory comes in back at home. So drops that down. TaeJa not looking amazing in the first few minutes of this, obviously, with the fact that Solar so far is essentially just defending. We do see this Marine getting picked off. And the Ling's just spreading out a little bit. I'm going to come forwards here. These Marines are going to go running a little bit, so quite a few Zerglings getting picked away at the moment, and we do have the factory going to finish shortly. Command Center from TaeJa will drop down onto the natural. So this is the thing again, with the 2 racks you can always kind of, you know, what TaeJa's doing now is the right thing to do. Applying a bit of pressure, putting on some damage. I mean, look at this, Solar's building 14 more Zerglings. As long as TaeJa can defend at home, he's actually in a pretty good spot, right? Because the worker count's not too far apart. I say pretty good spot. It's not like unplayable is what I'm trying to say. Because as long as these Lings don't do much, he just forced 14 Lings. That could have been like, you know, Solar 10 plus workers ahead now. TaeJa's going to take a double CC behind this. The one scary part is he is building the reactor with the factory, so there's a slight delay there on getting that up. And obviously TaeJa does have to defend this low ground, because if he doesn't defend this low ground, he's going to be in some trouble, because then he has to cancel the CC. Link speed's about to kick in. Hellions are about to start. Now the Marines are pulling back. Does he have the time here to actually deal with this correctly? You can see this. He pulls up this ramp. See, he minimizes the surface area as he supply blocks. Going into the Hellions, he is GG's called. He just had to survive this, and then he would have been okay to play the game out. But that's the test. Maybe we'll have a bit of a rematch between Solar and Zest from Home Story Cup in this winner bracket today, as Dovenwolf is going to start off game number 2 with 2,000 bits. Thank you so much, Dovenwolf, for your generosity. Got some love in the chat for Dovenwolf, please, guys. Thank you so much for the 2,000 bits. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Top left-hand side of the map, our red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is TaeJa. Taking on our blue Zerg in the bottom right, it is Solar. So set this up and get this ready to go. Also have Fred Mowell coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so very much indeed for the Twitch Prime. Hey, Addy Trick, sorry, I missed your 145 extra bits. I do apologize. Said you were casting our Romanian tournament a few months ago. So kind of you, but I really appreciate your content. Thanks for you causing to make StarCraft 2 the greatest game ever. Thank you so much, TaeJa. Sorry, I just didn't see that one pop up. I do apologize. Thank you so much as well. Appreciate it, guys, as we get this going. Command Center on the way up from TaeJa. Solo coming in with the Overlord, and just obviously being very careful of the potential proxy racks positions on this map because, well, it is very proxy racks, you know, focused after game number 1. Just wants to try and see what can be done here. Command Center coming down. TaeJa played a pretty cool game against Demi in the Team League yesterday. If you haven't been watching the WardiTV Team League, Week 1 was played over the last couple of days. We had some really awesome games, I gotta say. We had some really awesome stuff. I would absolutely suggest you kind of check that out again. But yeah, we had some really cool games, and just kind of excited to kind of continue on and do more Team League. But TaeJa played a really cool game against Demi. He was kind of in control the whole game, but he actually played that sort of style where it's like, you know, I'm not quite going to end the game yet, and I'm just going to play safe. I'm going to trade and trade and expand and expand, and you know, he was in control of the game throughout. But it turned out to be like a 22-minute game. It's one of those things that's fun to watch, right? Because, I mean, way back when, TaeJa was always that player creating series that were just absolutely like the best series of StarCraft 2 in the world, right? I mean, how many like best series of all time involve TaeJa in TvZ? I think kind of a lot of them. You know, TaeJa played so many of these matches. You know, we talk about you know, TaeJa versus Life at events, and these were always really good. TaeJa and Solar had a bit of a history as well, if I'm not mistaken. They played kind of a lot back in the day also. Yeah, back in 2014, they actually played in an IEM final. TaeJa won that one 4-3. That was, again, like Heartless Swarm TvZ. They played like a couple of times, and they really played like these crazy matches. It was really sick. I actually don't think they played a lot actually back in Heartless Swarm, sorry, but they played, when they did play, they played some really sick games. That IEM Shenzhen final, I feel like, was probably really sick. 2014. Crazy. Alright, so you do see a couple of Hellions and a Reaper going to go on a wander forwards, and they do get some damage onto the initial drone there. Reaper gets picked off. Speed is on the way out, as we do have our Fusion Core just building up as well. So Fusion Core going to be done in a moment, as we do have our Overlord going into the main base. So Overlord flying into the main. Couple Hellions from TaeJa out the front, as we have got our lair from Solar on its way up as well in the main base. Bunch of Hellions coming in then as Fusion Core is finished and the Battlecruiser can begin. So Battlecruiser starts up, and that Rotron and the lair on the way down right now. So do you see those few Hellions going to go dive and die in towards this third base here? First drone gets picked off, Zerglings. Gonna clean this out. That's actually a really nice cleanup from Solar. So what's happened here is that TaeJa's just lost his Hellions, and while losing his Hellions has not really gained much at all. Let's see what's going to happen. Double Starport Battlecruiser. Double Starport Battlecruiser. So TaeJa's going for something a little bit funky here to try and catch Solar a bit off guard. You see these Lings try and break through the front, and you do have an SCV going to go down there. Supply Depo's taking a little bit of damage. Doing a good job of just continuing to fight those Zerglings back at the moment, and well, Spire on the way up from Solar as well, getting that ready to go as SCV does make it back over to the other side of this command center. Bring us back up to the top side here. So I see a Spore Crawler dropping down, and Spire starting up in the back of the natural. There's a teleport in from the first BC. So Battlecruiser number 1 teleports in, right? Spores have just started. I mean, the Spider's obviously the kind of go-to here. Good amount of Queens. And the thing is, right now, you're probably thinking, so yeah, you know, I feel pretty good. This third base is so undefended. And if you can obviously keep 1 BC here, and maybe 1 BC elsewhere, okay, he's going to go for both of them together. So he's going to go in and go kind of like double aggression, but I'm not sure if that works with this many Queens here and the double Spore Crawler. It feels like Solar's very well prepared to deal with something like this. So, first queen taking quite a lot of damage, and it's one of the higher energy queens, so it's good for Solo to pull that back so it's not really a target anymore. Meanwhile, SCV is going down in the main. Actually, not sure. I think maybe just drop a Lord, yeah. 3 SCVs killed from that. That's quite nice, actually. Just a little ling drop. And the BC is just going to take map control. So, there's quite a lot of BCs here. The problem is with going double starport BC, you slow down a lot of the rest of your game, right? Look, I mean, he's basically on no other production other than those starports at the moment. So as soon as Corruptors come out, are you not just in a lot of trouble? Because now Corruptors, we know how good they are against battlecruisers. They're kind of the issue for battlecruisers. So, you know, once these Corruptors are up, are we just not in a position where TaeJa just dies? Because what else is he going to have? I mean, at 7 minutes, he's adding on his barracks number 2 and 3. This means we're talking about like a 10-minute stim pack. That's a really late stim pack. And if you know, the fact he's playing Bio here feels very brave. Because he's going to have such a late stim, and well, we'll see, I guess, as we do have Solo. Currently building up into Roaches and Corruptors. He's got an Infestation Pit dropping down. Opens that pathway in towards the Hive and then into the Greater Spire for Broodlords as well, potentially. BC is still just gathered up here as SCVs do a little bit of repairing. Now Queen's out into the middle of the map and just going to put down some creep here, spreading that around the map as well. Yeah, Solo, the thing is, once he defends these battle cruisers as well, right, he's put himself in a position where he's had no worries apart from, you know, just a droning. So he's just been able to get into a ridiculous economy. Talking 82 drones already, and, you know, really unharassed getting there. Yes, he had to build a couple extra spawn cores, but that was about it, as the models will come down and the teleports away. BC has picked up a couple corrupt kills to start. Now Solo will go hunting. Now Solo wants to try and get in here and kill these BCs while their teleports are on cooldown. So he wants to force this fight. SCVs will be here to repair them, and I think with this many BCs, you can't really do it. If there was... It's one of those scenarios where actually if you have a few more Corruptors and like it's only a 3 BC build, and maybe it's like Cyclones, I think you can do it. In this scenario, I don't think you can. You can see he's still looking for something though. The new BCs actually have Immortals ready, so they're going to be able to snipe down another Corruptor there. Solo takes another loss. So, you know, TaeJa's going to survive this, and as he will come forwards, set up a Sensor Tower in this top side position. Circlings nibbling their way through these rocks on the right hand side as, yeah, TaeJa's starting to make a bit of a game of this. With the battle cruisers coming out down the left hand side and just going to have the 1-1 upgrades on the way as well. Stimpack and combat shields about to finish too, so we are going to, okay, I said 10 minute Stimpack, it's actually going to be 9 minutes obviously. Stimpack's a little bit faster now. The barracks did start a bit before 7 minutes, so 9 minutes. I mean, it's still a late stim in combat shields, but he's been able to survive to get it up. It's just how much pressure has he applied, right? And you know, it is things like creep spread that get out of control in these ZBTs. And, you know, the creep is pretty good halfway across the map in multiple positions. And obviously, I mean, he picks off a couple creep teamers there, but there's so many creeds to replace it. It's not a major issue just yet, as we do see First and Faster being added into play from that infestation pit. We'll see if he has much of a plan for that. I mean, no upgrade of Neo Parasite or anything, so it is just looking like it's going to be an infested ball from the growth hero there. The Marines come forwards, but they have to back away. The BCs make their way to the left, but there's so much creep. Can they really get onto it? Probably not. TaeJa has a 4th CC. He actually built this base very long ago, but he just morphed it into an orbital for extra mules and scans. So he actually added on that ages ago, really. Kind of crazy. You're going to see the BCs going to line up some Yamatos, try and teleport out of there, but you can see that first BC got killed off in the teleport animation. And that is the change in the patch, right? It's just a little bit more difficult to make those BC attacks work. Because this cost him a BC. So usually this would be amazing because the BCs would teleport out instantly and they would survive. But because he loses a BC, it's actually not as bad for Solo to have lost a bunch of Corruptors. Yes, okay, he's still not trading amazingly, but he's also on 97 drones and controlling the entire map and so many bases. Good position here for TaeJa to fight, of course, against the Lingers trying to run forwards. In the end, there wasn't actually that many. He actually didn't build Roaches at all, he just built the Roach Row, and so I kind of thought he was building a few Roaches, but nope. He did turn it into a Ling-Bane composition altogether with those melee upgrades, which are already going towards 2-2. In fact, the upgrades are pretty even, slightly ahead for Solar. TaeJa wants to obviously get rid of this creep, that's why he's pushing forwards here. That one Marine on the side. Got one of those active tumors, but not both of them. TaeJa's just a little bit afraid, doesn't want to go too far forwards. It's one of those scenarios where you're going to have to play a very long game, because there's no winning this in just one big fight, right? you're not just going to be like, aha, boom, I push onto creep and kill you. Like, that doesn't happen for Terran. So, if you're going to win this game as TaeJa, you have to start playing very heavily into the later stages of this game. Sort of run on by, going to try and grab a siege tank there, but doesn't quite make it work. The extra Banelands rolling forwards, and a Bio Army splitting up a little bit. These Marines get picked off here. Now Zergling's running into with a natural expansion where the Orbital Command is under a lot of fire as well. The Orbital Command is going to just about survive here. About half hit points. Marines and tanks pressing forwards. How good are Widow Mines against Ultras? They do okay, obviously. Like, you know, if they connect on Ultras, they'll do some good damage. Obviously, it takes a lot of Widow Mine shots to actually kill an Ultra. But the damage they, Ultras take are pretty serious. But obviously, a Widow Mine that fires on an Ultra is probably going to die a second or two later. So, it's not like it's some sort of amazing, haha, got you sort of thing. You see another BC picked off here in that round of Yamato cannons. TaeJa making a push down this left-hand side. I mean, this is a lean main heavy army. Okay, Solo's going to die for this. Obviously, this is off creep. We do have Ultras in play. There's not really a lot to deal with these Ultras. We do see the Marines splitting backwards. Off creep deals with those Banelings pretty well, honestly. They might be able to actually chase down some of these units, so we'll push forwards. BC's going down in this. That one Ultra kind of gives itself up just so that Bayou units stop chasing for a second. There's no Banelings here at the moment. This is another Ultra that might be in some trouble. He's just going to come in and try and see what he can do, but there's just too many Zerglings, right? If there's a bit more Bio here, this is really troubling, but with the Bio there is here, it's kind of okay. Is actually TaeJa is going to be able to hold his ground, I think. Picks off another of these Ultras. Final Battlecruiser does fall. TaeJa's taking a couple of decent fights for himself, though, and well, producing up another army. He's keeping TaeJa Solo onto this kind of Ultra-based composition. As long as Solo's playing Ultras, I feel like TaeJa can keep on fighting and trading. You know, it's not like suddenly there's Brood Lords. That's where, you know, TaeJa really does make a big compositional difference. He is starting to make Vikings. I think he's afraid of the Brood Lord potential, especially because there's so many Corruptors. But this is still a Spire, just making upgrades rather than going into a greater Spire. Liberators would be the real choice right now, just to help with those Ultras. But again, it's kind of like that decision you've got to make here as Solo. As TaeJa. You've got to say, well, do I make Vikings to deal with potential Brood Lords, or do I make Liberators to deal with the Ultras right now? He's really expecting these Brood Lords to start showing up, but not quite the case. That was unfortunate. He left his tanks behind, and now he's going to be in some trouble as well. He just didn't get a good start to this fight. He'll be fighting with the Planetary Force, but now he doesn't have really the kind of damage output to really get rid of these Ultralisks, and that's going to be a major issue, as the Bayou units, you can see, are not really doing very much. The Planetary Force might just about hold. Some Vikings showing up. The Corsic Spray actually might be the difference to kill off the Planetary there. TaeJa will lose the fourth base. Now he has a base in the upper right that's mining, but when he loses these Vikings, it looks as though Solo will overrun. TaeJa has to type out the GG